Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. My name is Scott Morgan off Motor City Madmouth. Please, we have a good show lined up, really packed, and we'll go from there. All right, off to my right is George Ichiro. Welcome back, George.
Hey, good to be here, Scott. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You're welcome. Candy, welcome back for your
Thanks.
second night doubleheader. All right, Eric.
Good to be back.
And last but not least, Rob, our resident New Yorker.
Yep, great to be back. Thanks, Scott.
You're very welcome. We got a busy agenda today, obviously. Candy and I have a busy agenda all week. We're going to have the Miami Hurricanes on Friday night, and we just had FAU on last Saturday. Well, there was an eventful day as well. So with that said, let's get going. Let's lead off with our top story, and that's the Seattle Mariners. They defeated the Detroit Tigers 3-2 in an epic 15-game classic, 3-2 on Friday night. And on Sunday, get this, they topped Toronto 3-1 in Canada. The common denominator in this game, though, was Jorge Polanco game-winning RBIs in both games. He joined Edgar Martinez, who also did the same thing in 1995 in the ALDS in 4 and 5 versus New York Yankees. But to even make matters worse, the Toronto Blue Jays not only had to deal with what he had to do there, he also hit a 3-run bomb today, which the winning 3-run bomb in a 10-3 victory that now gives Seattle a 2-0 lead. And today he has 5 at-bats, 2 runs, 2 hits for RBI. I wonder who Mr. October is. If they're going to make a case for it, George Polanco will be at. But let's just talk about George. Obviously, it was painful for a lot of us Detroit Tiger people, but this guy, George Polanco, is unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure is, Scott. He's a scrappy player. He's a good hitter, solid hitter. We know that. But man, oh man, he's driving that ball. He has really, really stepped up his game, and Seattle is the beneficiary of that, of course. Yeah, it was a long game, the Friday night game, and Detroit fans, of course, are very upset about it. And but that game could have gone either way, as we know. There was just so much excitement, so much tension in that game, 15 innings long.
I mean, what Polanco's done is unbelievable. Candy,
oh, God, yeah.
He's getting hot when he needs to, and that's what you want to see in your batters. He was 2 for 5 today, in that 15-inning marathon on Friday night against the Tigers. They both had chances to win, and obviously, if you're on the wrong side of the win, you feel bad. If you're on the right side of the win, you feel good. I mean, Seattle's never been there, so. But Polanco's he's hitting really well right now.
I mean, just think of what he did to Terrace School. His 2 home runs. And, of course, he pulls a trick on Toronto, and then he gets Toronto again, and he does it over at the Rogers Center. Eric?
I mean, Polanco's, he had a down year last year, a career worst year for him last season, but this year he really turned on and started looking like himself, and he's been a clutch player for Seattle. There's a reason that they're in the position they're in, as close to the World Series as they've ever been.
Rob?
Yeah, and when better to get hot than in the postseason? And like you said, he's steaming hot right now. Sorry, George, what he did to Detroit, but tonight again with Toronto, and if this continues, there's a good shot we're going to see Seattle in the World Series finally.
Yeah, sure does. Well, all right, so let's go on to the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees are the 10th team to enter the postseason on an 8-game winning streak or better. And they were the last team to do it was the 2019 Washington Nationals, and they went all the way. Obviously, the Yankees and the Nationals, but that's unbelievable that you can enter the year hot with an 8-game, and that just talks about how tough it is to do it. So, Rob, we'll start off with you since we're talking about a New York-based team.
Yeah, they did. Listen, the Yankees did finish the season very hot, but doesn't matter. What good did it do? They lost to Toronto after beating the Red Sox. Okay, they took it from the Red Sox, but you know what? The streak doesn't mean anything right now.
Eric?
I mean, they finished off the year hot, but what matters is what you do in the postseason. And they didn't get it done in Toronto. The pitching fell apart, and that's just And that's just how it landed for the Yankees, though. I mean, what matters is what you do in the postseason, and they didn't get it done in the DS.
Andy?
The fact of the matter is, once the regular season is done, yes, you're hot going into it, which is great because hopefully that momentum carries you into the postseason. Unfortunately for the Yankees, they ran up against a buzzsaw, and it's 0-0 again and starts the postseason. But yes, you always want to be hot near the end of the season. You just hope it translates. And this time it just didn't. I think, sometimes if you go back and you want to listen to, I was previously on The Professor and the Pupil, and I talked about getting hot, but I also talked about pressure of being in a big market and the expectations that you're going to win. And sometimes it's hard to overcome some of those preconceived notions that because you have the highest payroll and you're in the biggest media market that you should, and you have the legacy that you do, that you're the New York Yankees, that you should win. It doesn't always happen.
George?
Well, you talk about sticker shock for the Yankee fans when they saw the scores of those two games, the first two, 10-1, 13-7 against Toronto. You nailed it there, Eric. The pitching did not come through. The pitching was suspect. And even though they did end the year with 8 straight wins, and I applaud them for that, they did run into that Blue Jay buzzsaw. And it was just all downhill from there. Of course, the Blue Jays won it in 4 games, 3-1 over the Yankees. But I really think that the Yankees still have a lot of good talent going forward. They just got to make some adjustments, and they got to get some better pitching before next year starts. But that's for another show, another day. This year, they ended bad.
Yeah, when I bring up the Nationals, it's just amazing as far as I'm concerned that it's been that long. You always want to think the teams that get hot end up getting hot, but when you talk about the Yankees and Washington Nationals, to be able to make such a comparison between them, it's just such a hard, tough this tournament really is. As we continue going forward, okay, we'll talk about a little bit of strategy. This obviously for this audience, if you didn't hear us talk about it on Saturday, we're going to talk about it now. The Yankees bench 57 home runs and 145 RBIs because of analytics. Jazz Chisholm, Trent Grissom, and Ben Rice. Even broadcaster Michael Kay was criticizing Aaron Boone. And Michael Kay doesn't like to criticize a lot, but Michael Kay blasted Brett Boone for his explanation of pulling Max Fried in Game 1, lost to Boston, where I believe it went 5 1/3 inning. Didn't go that long. All right, Rob, explain what's going on there. Not only what your thoughts about the analytics, about Boone taking these 3 guys out, but Callaway even said on the show that you don't take out your best players no matter what. Do you agree with that? And to give me your assessment on Max Fried.
Yeah, well, of course you don't. But is it coming from him or is it coming from the front office, people above? Okay, we know things are different now, and these managers aren't making the moves like they used to be. So we know what's going on. Even Mickey has talked about that. So we know what's going on. You would never take him out, but Fried went. Listen, Fried had a great game against the Red Sox, and then he just he didn't have it against the Blue Jays. And usually in the postseason, Fried hasn't been that great. If you go back to his years with the Braves. So he had a bad game, but I don't know. I don't know if that's Boone's call right there.
Right. Eric?
I thought it was a stupid move, playing it off the analytics. I mean, the postseason, you put your best in no matter what. Forget the matchups, forget the platoons. This is not the regular season where you can start messing around with that. This is you either do or you die. And the move clearly backfired on Boone. You play your best no matter what. Now, mind you, I don't know how much of it is Boone or Brian Cashman or everyone else involved there, because we'll never know like the power structure truly there. I mean, everyone can have their opinions there. I know the people of the New York Post and the Times and whatever will have their opinions on what they think is happening over there. But the thing about it is they didn't play the best. I mean, that's just what it came down to. And Max Fried, he's got a history in the postseason of being feast or famine. He's either going to be really good or that ball is going to be hit all over the yard. And against Toronto, that's what happened.
Okay. Candy?
I'm tired of analytics thinking that analytics are going to be true to form. Sometimes the analytics might say you shouldn't put in a player, but maybe that player's due, and maybe that player, it's that time that they're going to, rebound, and they're going to, maybe they're 0 for some pitcher, but all you need is one. All you need is one. And uh, I just don't, I'm tired of analytics playing such a role in a game. This is a game. You can't predict. It can't predict who's going to have a hit, who's going to do well, who's going to pitch. Oh, I missed my pitch by this, and so the hitter. I mean, here's what I'm going to say. Is it always putting the best players out right now? Maybe it's about putting the hottest hitters that are good in right now. It doesn't always have to be necessarily your best, but your hottest hitters too. Because hey, if there's streak, we've always said you want to be hot come September and October, and if you're like Polanco, we were saying he's doing really good right now, so that's what you want. So yeah, I would not listen to analytics. Some of it's got to go from your gut too.
George.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bad game the Yankees played, and Max Fried, all the runs that he gave up too. But I agree with you guys. I mean, the analytics, yeah, they go to the nth degree on that, and they're constantly adding more staff and more young people to do this. And the whole game of baseball, as we know, has changed from what it used to be. And I understand all that, to use the stats. But you're right, Candy. I mean, when a hot player is in there, more often than not, I've seen even in Detroit, sometimes they'll take the hot guy out and put in the other guy, to go on the analytics, have a pinch hitter, even though the other player, for example, might have 2 hits already in the game or something like that. But getting back to pitching, yeah, they overdo it in pitching just as much as they do in batting. But I'll tell you what, there's no way that you're going to win those games when you start allowing that many runs. And I don't care what kind of analytics you're looking at, the Yankees pitching staff allowed too many runs, period.
Yeah, see, I've been a firm believer that analytics is all well and good, but a real managers follow their gut feeling and their instincts. If you don't have those, forget it. And that's all I have to say about it. A lot more to get to as we continue on 108 such as baseball talk. My name is Scott Morganoff. Please be joined by George Eichhorn, Candy Ebling, Rob Maraska, and Eric Katz. Rob obviously does a good job on New York MLB baseball talk. Does shows I think on Monday afternoon and Friday night. Glad he's a part of our panel on Monday night as well. So, now let's go back to the Detroit Tigers when they were in the postseason, and it does amaze me though how the Detroit Tigers left 15 men on base in a 6-1 loss to Cleveland Game 2, but they rebounded to win the series. Now, case in point, you talk about a team that, okay, you have ice in your veins, you leave 15 men on base in a 16-1 loss. That is tough to swallow when you have to come back with a closeout. And then we'll talk about Derek Skubal, who, by the way, at one point in the season, in a 9-game team stretch, he was 1-2, and the team was 6-3 with 57 innings pitched, 43 hits, 16 earned runs, 11 walks, 74 Ks, 2.53 ERA. That's tough luck. So the reason why I've combined the two topics is we know that Derek Skubal has led to leave games earlier because of analytics and pitch count. I'm not going to go into more depth than that, but let's talk initially, Rob, about the fact that leaving 15 men on base isn't going to cut it. I know the Tigers are going to have to address their offense, and we'll bring that up on future shows. But let's talk about this 6-1 loss, Rob, how they ended up leaving 15 men on base.
I go through this constantly with the New York Mets, okay? They leave runners on base like crazy. So this, to me, the Tigers, I don't know, in the postseason to leave that many men on base, that's not good anytime. But in the postseason, you can't do that. You have to bring those guys in. You have to score runs. That number is way too high for the postseason. It's way too high for the regular season. In the postseason, no way. Oh, no way. So they didn't deserve to win that game. They had to score. They have to do stuff. Leaving runners on base drives me crazy.
Okay, Eric?
Probably the most aggravating thing you can do is leave runners in scoring position. I mean, to Rob's point, the Yankees do it too, and did it quite a bit this year. I'm not just going to point out. I'm not just going to, even though making fun of the Mets is a pastime of mine. The Yankees did it quite a bit this year. They would countless times they would have runners on first and second, no outs, and they would do nothing. But for what it's worth, though, in the Tigers matchup against the Seattle Mariners, the Mariners left plenty of people on base too. They had plenty of moments where they could have ended the game a lot earlier than they ended up doing. So, but if you're leaving runners on base, you're not going to win any ball games. That's also momentum, because baseball is played with ebbs and flows, and you got to capture the momentum at the right time. It's not like other sports where you can just keep pouring it on. Not baseball. You just got to capture it within a window.
Candy.
The record for leaving the most men on base in a postseason is the Tigers there with 15. Yep. It's sad, but I think part of it is I think so many of the batters want to hit it in a specific place. They want to hit a home run. They're not just hitting it where the pitch is pitched. Playing small ball. Doing the things that you need to do. If you need to bunt. I mean, there was a bunt in the Brewers Cubs series where it was so loud that people got distracted and you couldn't hear where the pitcher should have thrown it, because everyone was saying throw it to second and he ended up throwing it to first. And then there was a misthrow, and so I think we miss sometimes going back to the basics and doing the art of bunting. There's a lot to be said about bunting, and I don't know that the major leaguers don't practice it enough, but you can get a hit with a bunt, just like you can hit to left field, and it can be just as effective. So I really think that the batters these days don't hit the ball where it's pitched. It's okay to go to the opposite field.
Yeah, nobody's outlining small ball people. Small ball works.
It's a lost art. It's a lost art, is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Small ball works. George, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this is the angst of the Detroit Tigers fandom right now. I mean, between the strikeouts of these so-called hitters and the runners left stranded is ridiculous. The account was way, way more than it should be. And when you have 15 guys, like you said, Scott, left on base, team runners in scoring position, the team was 1 for 15 in that game, that 6-1 loss that you said against Cleveland in game 2 of this series. And I tell you what, I mean, they were able to pull it off in the next game and take the series. But that was despicable. That was despicable to be 1 for 15 runners in scoring position for Detroit. Too many guys. Yeah, swinging for the fences. Too many guys striking out, as we all know, especially in Detroit. And, they were doing so well earlier. We still don't know what happened. But anyways, it was, you can't win games like that, Scott, with 15 runners left on base.
So let's pivot to the other half of what I talked about, that tough stretch by Terrace School. Everybody has them, but boy, you're 6-3 and you throw that well. My goodness, that's tough to live with. George, you can continue the narrative, and I'll
there's a lot of questions out there right now, and the Tigers had a presser this morning and tried to address some of those, but nobody has really given a straight answer on that. And the fact that Skubal is your best pitcher, probably the best pitcher in baseball, and you are, having him with a tight pitch count, and you're having him, pitch 6 innings or 5. It just doesn't make sense, especially now. This is the critical part of the year. My God, you're in the playoffs, you're in the championship series or whatever series you're in, division series, and you're allowing him, or is he dictating? We still don't know in Detroit whether he's saying I can't go any further. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't look good. And Skubal has a lot of good pitchers, good repertoire. And just the fact that, I can't go above 95 or I can't go above 100, that doesn't cut it with me. No.
Candy?
I remember back in the day when the Brewers were playing and CC Sabathia came in. And he came in numerous times. And it's because they're in the playoffs. It's do or die. You do it or you go home. And so if you are a pitcher and you're on and you know you're still on, you don't come out. I'm sorry. And as a manager, you don't take them out. If they're on, now if they get tired, by all means, if they say they don't have it anymore, because as a pitcher, you know when you have your stuff or you don't. And granted, nobody wants to come out, but you also don't want to hurt your team either. And this is the playoffs. And like I said, it's win or go home. And so you do whatever you can to win.
Eric?
I mean, here's the deal. I mean, I not like the whole 100 pitch limit because I think back to Nolan Ryan, who I don't think he had a major arm surgery, if I'm not mistaken, and he was out there. He was out there from start to finish. I remember when I was younger during the 2000s. As long as you were mowing, they let you go. But no, I think pitchers. I think nowadays teams live within their fears, and I think these guys just don't throw enough anymore. If your guy's going hot, let him go. The other team's not hitting anything to him. And yeah, so that's just, you just got to let him go. I mean, Tarek Skubal, I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball in my opinion.
Rob?
My own personal feelings, I don't feel that Scooble said, I can't go. I want out after just that many pitches. I hate the pitch count, but you guys know I'm old school.
Right.
This is just stuff we have to. This is how the game is now, right? This is just the way it is. We're still going to love baseball, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. I do not like the pitch count. I don't understand. Could you imagine pulling Bob Gibson out of a game during the playoffs? I mean, come on, because, okay, Bob, you got to go. You're at 96 pitches. He would pop the manager in the face.
Whitey it would be Whitey Herzog.
Or Red JD's. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just the way the game's going. I mean, we all know that the world changes, baseball changes. We've seen it change drastically over the years, and that's just the way the game is going. Heck, we're throwing bullpens at each other now.
Great stuff. All right, we're going to go to our first non-sports topic of the night. And guess what? We're going back to Iceland for this one. I love bringing on Iceland. Oh, one of the happiest places on the planet. Non-sports Iceland. The safest and best country. Oh, I love that place. I can't wait to get back there again. But get this, people. Police in Iceland don't carry guns during routine patrols. How beautiful is that? No guns on routine patrols. Oh, life is nice up there where it gets cold. George, how about that? Won't find that in Detroit. They carry them everywhere. But they don't in Iceland.
That's idealistic, man. That's great. I mean, I'm happy for a country or a city even that can do that because, man, in America, we're so attached to those guns, especially big cities like mine. And, but I think that is really, really a great achievement by them. They protect each other. They don't have to whip out a gun to do something and settle an argument. And I applaud Iceland for that. That's a great thing going there. I'll tell you what, that's the envy, I think, of the free world, to not have to have guns on everybody and on cops. I mean, yeah.
Gosh, I wish I could afford to live up there, but I don't know if I can handle the cold. I love it out here in the South. All right, Candy.
As Florida just passed not too long ago their open carry law that you can openly carry now a gun. Doesn't matter what side of the gun control you're on. Kudos for Iceland, like to not have to resort to that kind of force, blunt force or anything like that and I don't know how much crime they have. Probably not much. They don't have as much population either, and it's a beautiful country up there. It is, but kudos because it's a whole different world. To not have the guns, that kind of brute force when you're looking down, a gun or someone's carrying one. And I've never been held at gunpoint. Thankfully,
right?
But I can't imagine it. So for a country to not allow even their policemen, must mean a lot safer community and a lot less of the huge violence. I'm sure they have crime, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but of the, the murder type, I'm assuming is a lot lower. So kudos to them.
Eric.
Well, it helps though that Iceland has some of the world's strictest gun laws, so they have that going for them. Where you gotta attend a class, there's a wait period for getting a gun, so that probably helps too. But the fact that the police don't feel the need to have a gun is pretty good on the country's part. That's actually a really good look. Obviously, in America, that would never happen because let's be honest, America was founded on guns. But yeah, it's it's good for Iceland.
Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Of course, a place where the cops don't have to carry guns and you don't have to worry about anything. It's great. But like you said, smaller population plus, it would be great. Except I couldn't take the cold either. So
Well, you got cold in New York, but boy, it gets way colder than there.
yeah, not
think
like
about
that.
Candy and I take a cruise, and of course we had to pack a lot more on this particular trip than most because we were dealing with good weather and then colder weather. But I have no problem. Had to get an extra bag or two along the way, and it'll make a difference. So it was still fun. But yeah, I love Iceland, and the fact when I saw this nugget about not carrying any guns and all that business gives me another. Every time I look for Iceland, I'm going to keep bringing in Iceland topics, everybody, on Monday night because it's a nice laid back place. I want the show to be a nice laid back show, depending on who's ever on. Mickey's on, great. He isn't, that's okay too. I mean, he's busy with his virtual lessons. I get it, the man's busy, but this show's going to go on with the group that we have. As Gene Hackman once said in the movie Hoosiers, I can't control who isn't here. I can only control who is here. And everybody has a busy schedule, and I'm not a mind reader. So the bottom line is I'm going to keep incorporating Iceland. I'm not sending any messages. I'm just saying this is what you have, and this is what we're always going to do no matter what. We are consistent. 108 Inches Baseball Talk, everybody. It's been on several years, right, Candy? Okay, and this will continue to go on as the individuals rotate in and out of here. And that's what I've always been a firm believer. And I can tell you, I've been in the baseball business since 1982. Not before, I played, and I've met a lot of people. And I got news for you. I have a lot more than I'm working on. I love Mickey. Don't get me wrong. This is not a knock against Mickey. I'm just saying I have a big, big inventory of baseball people to either come on here or on that Saturday show. But back to Iceland. I'm going to keep incorporating Iceland topics and a lot more creative topics. Go ahead, Candy.
I just want to say that Icelandic police do not routinely carry firearms on patrol. Their guns are stored in locked boxes in their police cars and only used when a ranking officer permits it in specific dangerous situations. The standard equipment for officers includes a baton, handcuffs, and pepper spray. And in 2022, officers were authorized to carry tasers as well.
Great stuff. So you still have the handcuffs, you have the taser spray. What was the other one?
A baton, pepper spray, handcuffs, and now a taser.
Beautiful stuff. All right, everybody cool on this topic?
Yep.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, well, now we're going to do our annual Nolan Ryan and Ichiro Suzuki Candy opinion only necessary. We have a lot more of them coming up. Just want to remind her so that she understands that there are 2 times where her phenomenal research is great, but not necessarily needed. So, Nolan Ryan is the only pitcher in MLB history to lead a team in strikeouts across 3 different decades, winning the award 7 times in the 1970s, 3 times in the 1980s, and once in the 1990s. George.
Oh, man. This is incredible. This guy is unbelievable. And that is quite a stat. You kidding me? 3 different decades, even though he was front loaded on that first decade, but that's okay. He did it. He stretched it out. That's a sign of his career being through those 3 decades. Just phenomenal strikeouts. And what a record that probably will never be matched by anybody else to have those strikeout titles, like you mentioned, Scott.
Candy.
To have more strikeouts than innings pitched. Holy Toledo, Nolan Ryan. That is awesome, baby.
Eric.
I mean, that's the greatest pitcher of all time. I mean, it doesn't shock me. I mean, there's what didn't he do in baseball aside from not winning a Cy Young Award? That guy truly was the greatest pitcher of all time.
Rob?
3 decades is amazing, and that is something that you'll never see again.
Cheers to all of you. Okay, good. Now we'll say cheers again. We talk about Ichiro, who didn't record his first MLB hit until he was 27 years of age. He's the oldest for the first hit among 3,000 hit club members, passing Wade Boggs, who was 23 years, 315 days old. Unbelievable when you put Ichiro and Wade Boggs in the same sentence, Rob.
Can you imagine if he didn't play in Japan and he just played his whole career here? What numbers he would have, really? And that would have had to stop that one voter that I keep bringing up every week. If he did that, I just can't imagine.
Unfortunately, you'll have to bring that sentence up on every show until I'm done with the Ichiro stuff, but that's okay. I love hearing it every week. Everybody is going to jump on your bandwagon, Rob, and say one voter, come out wherever you are. And you know what? We'll all be giving you thumbs up, Mr. Rob, across all your shows as well, Eric.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, if he recorded his first hit when he was 27, well, he ended up having, I think, 262 of them. So age is just a number here because, you know, he got 3,000 plus hits. Doesn't matter how old he was. The guy like Nolan Ryan was longevity. And matter of fact, he probably had it harder than Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan was a power pitcher. And Ichiro, you got to go in that batter's box and face guys. I mean, he was there when baseball was changing. I mean, the pitchers changed. The pitchers were no longer like what they were, which was either some guy was sticking to more off-speed stuff, but he was facing a lot more high heaters as he was getting into his 40s, but he still got it done.
Candy?
9 years playing in Japan, over 1,200 hits. If those would have translated equally to MLB, where he had over 3,000, that would have been over 4,300 hits. That would be amazing. Okay, so all you baseball players that are playing in the postseason, he's the one you want to look at. He's the one that could bat, put the ball wherever it was pitched. He's the hitter you want to emulate. Small ball right now, he's the hitter that you want to emulate your game for so that you move your fellow teammates around the horn and don't leave them on the base.
George?
Yeah, that's amazing. At that age to start your quest to get 3,000 hits. Like you said, Boggs was several years earlier than that. Yeah, and everything that's been said is so true. I mean, he'd have over 4,000 hits if he did. And, you know, they brought him out. They brought him out throughout the first pitch, I believe, one of the first game against Detroit. And he's very well loved there, as we all know. He's still very well connected to the Mariners team. So what a great guy and just a tremendous hitter. No question about it. This illustrates it even more.
Yeah, I just look forward to bringing these things every week so I can get everybody's reactions, and I have a lot more coming up. This is just the latest. All right, now we'll go to Candy for a station break. Halfway through the show, making phenomenal time, and I can go rapid fire, and everybody keeps their comments, and I like keeping them this way. My goals are to keep shows 60 to 75 minutes if possible, depending on what we put in, but that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. Every show will command the amount of time that's necessary. I don't see Rob having shows that go more than 60 to 75 minutes. He tries to keep within that 60 minutes. So that's my target every show. If they go longer, I get it. Just depends on the personnel that we have. Candy station break time. When we come back, a lot more stuff, and hopefully we'll wrap it up so everybody can continue watching the baseball playoffs and Monday Night Football, whatever your choice is. Go ahead, Ken.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, along with the foreword written by another panelist, Mr. George Eichhorn. The two collaborated. What a great book. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There is also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Honestly, we have such great programming. Go click it, like us, share us with all your friends and family, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live. We love to have people comment and come in the chat room. So instead of emailing us your ideas, come in the comment section and talk to us, interact with us. We love that. If you want to advertise, call Scott 954-304-4941. And if you want to listen to us because you only like listening, you can catch us wherever you get your podcast. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Candy. Well, so want to talk about valuable iPhones are? I'll give you a good reason why you should think of one. I'm not here to sell them, but get this. 4 iPhone 17 Pros were used during the Detroit Tigers versus Boston Red Sox game onto a real MLB broadcast. Can you believe that? 4 iPhone 17 Pros for a real MLB broadcast. Rob, some thoughts about this one?
Oh, I'm an Apple guy. I've had an iPhone since they came out. So listen, it is amazing how far they've come since, the first one. But it does not shock me at all. I mean, just look at the video, just look at the clarity from that phone. Just amazing.
See, when my mom got me my first iPhone because my Androids weren't working out, once I started using hers, I haven't looked back since. So this doesn't surprise me. I'm just surprised it got in an MLB broadcast. That's all. But I knew they were good. But to be able to use just 4 iPhone Pros, that's surreal. Eric?
I mean, they're top of the line. I've become an Apple guy in recent years, and they're just terrific.
Candy? I can't wait to get your response on this one.
So, as many of you might know, or many of you don't know, but now you're going to know, I'm an Android person, and I'm cool with that. But hey, I'm cool with whatever technology they're going to use to make things better. If it happens to be Apple, that's great too. I mean, I learned enough Apple helping Scott, so I know you know what? They both have their place. They both have their pluses and minuses. Whatever you like, go for it.
George?
Well, Apple's been the pace setter, the trend maker, or whatever you want to say. With their iPhones have been terrific. 17 they're up to now. If that number's correct, I don't know if it is. But anyways, that is an amazing achievement. And using it for the ball game, like you mentioned, Scott, they got great quality and a lot of people love them. And I'm one of them. I think they're great phones. I really, really wish the price wasn't so high. But then again, that's another story. But the quality is superb, like you guys said.
I have to say, at this particular point, one I have now is good. I don't know if I'm due for another one next year or not, but at the rate I'm going, I like the one I have, so I may wait a little while longer and try to get out from other stuff so that I don't have to spend the money. I have enough suitable storage space. I don't mind investing into more cruises, which I really had a blast doing. Rob obviously takes them. This guy due for Wonder What November. I mean, I get this. I got topics for both you and George in just a few minutes. Okay, but August 30th, 2015, Jake Arrieta throws a no-hitter for the Chicago Cubs. Rob, my goodness, Jake Arrieta throws a no-hitter for the Cubs. What are your thoughts about Jake?
Yeah, well, I remember seeing that game. That year, 2015, in fact, for me with no-hitters, I was at Citi Field when Max Scherzer pitched that no-hitter against the Mets, the last series of the season before the postseason. But yeah, that was a great game by Jake.
Eric?
I mean, it was Arrieta. It was the beginning of the time where Arrieta kind of went on that little run there where he became a pretty good pitcher for the Cubs. I think he was their ace at one point. His kind of no-hitter, I think, kind of bridged over to where the Cubs actually became, had that window where they were competitive.
Candy?
Anytime a pitcher can go out there and say that he no-hit a team, that's probably a feat that hardly – I don't know if they'll have any of them going forward. Because let's face it, we all talked about the pitch count now, and you can only pitch so many. So you might not have a complete no-hitter anymore.
Right.
But kudos to him. He did it against, the Dodgers? Good for – no?
Yeah.
I think he did it against the Dodgers.
Yeah. I think it was, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good point, too, Candy, because I don't like combined no-hitters anyways. I've never been sold on those. So, George?
Yeah, Jake Arrieta. Yeah, that
Awful.
was against the Dodgers, right? And 2015 is not that far long ago. I mean, and there are, a lot of pitchers that, never achieve this, but there are some like Jake that can hold that up there high, because then you got another one. So, I mean, there's always a thrill. And like you guys said, it's just not the same when you share a no-hitter with 2, 3, 4 guys in the bullpen. But yeah, Jake had a great moment that day, and downing a great team too, the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs over the Dodgers. Sorry.
All right. Well, you know what? Here's a topic that's non-sports that is right up George Eichhorn's alley, and I mean George Eichhorn. I was thinking about you when I brought this on tonight's program. So get this. Okay. In 2016, the oldest living leap year, and I repeat, leap year baby celebrated her 25th birthday on her 100th year of life, born on February 29th, 1916. She only got to blow out her birthday candle every 4 years. Talk about aging gracefully and slowly, or what, George? 25 years. And you know what? And back then, I won't say you single-handedly put Bill Knapp's out of business, but you didn't help it, man, knowing that you got him twice on the 28th and the 1st.
Yeah.
All right, Eichhorn,
yeah.
what are your thoughts about this woman?
Oh, that's great. I'm proud of her, man. Being a leap year baby myself, I mean, it's such a thrill, and really the thing is that it makes it even more special. I mean, when you have it every year, I mean, of course, some of them come and go in our lives. We don't really celebrate too much, maybe, but every 4 years, you're waiting around like I've had to. I'm proud of her. That's great achievement for her. 25 years, 25 times rather, she's had her birthday on February 29th. I love it.
Well, we're a Mariners fan out there, and I'm a fan of his anyway. Football Talk with Bo. The Mariners are up to nothing. My only question to Bo is, do you plan to get to any of those games out in Seattle now that they have a chance to probably close it out in the Pacific Northwest? We'll see if he answers that. So, what do you think, Candy, about this leap year? This is unbelievable. I always think of you, Eichhorn, some way.
Thank you.
Man, more ways than you'll ever know.
Eichhorn's the only one I actually personally know that was born on leap year. So kudos to you,
Thank you.
Sometimes we think of people that have birthdays on holidays and how it gets lumped in and how it's not special. For those that are born on leap years, they've got to feel weird because they're celebrating their birthday every year, but it's not actually on their birth date. So that's got to feel really different. And,
it is.
I'm sure. Kudos to you for, kudos to this lady for, celebrating it big when it does land and hitting. And let's face it, these days it's no small feat to get to 100 these days. So kudos to her for celebrating it and celebrating it big.
Oh, yeah, Bo says it's out of his budget. That's okay. I was just curious. He's got to graduate up in the media range so we can get him to one of these games. But Bo, I'll tell you one thing about him. You talk about a teammate in every sense of the word. Bo is definitely it. He's helped me out in so many ways. Stephen Reichel are two of the people that have allowed us to grow on this platform immensely. Eric.
I mean, it was, it's incredible. I mean, good for her. I mean, that's pretty unique.
Mom.
Could you imagine if you're a leap year child and you have rotten parents and you're like, Mommy, I want to have a birthday party. No. Why not? Not your birthday. You got to wait 3 more years.
Not my mom and dad. They didn't ever say that to me, but it is funny.
I'm a Christmas baby. I didn't have that problem. A lot of people wondered if I got all my gifts on my birthday or in between. And it didn't matter. All I know is, regardless of how you think you got gypped, I never had to go to school on my birthday, but I did have to take a driver's test. But I was able to do a little fast talking with the lady. Said, one or two things going to happen when I take my driver's test. Either give me the route I want, or we're going to get killed. Oh, she was nice. I'll go wherever you want. It's okay. She passed me. I guess her life was more valuable than me going out there and telling her what way to go. I did pretty well, actually. I had my grandma Sophie's yellow Cadillac. That was really cool stuff. It really was. So, but leap year, more power to him. Rest in peace, Bill Knapp's, okay, because George Eichhorn helped put you out of business anyway. So you and a lot more like him. But I'll tell you, they did have good food. I will say this. All right, back to another non-sports topic. And that's this. Apple will reportedly release a MacBook with a touchscreen next year called the MacBook Pro set to debut for its first OLED pitching MacBooks in 2026. I'll tell you, the idea of a touchscreen is good. Problem is I'm awful at those things. So probably be good for a lot of people out there, including Callaway. He's probably going to be doing virtual pitching lessons. He could probably do one if he's watching the show or not. So be it. But I'm always intrigued by when they get a new Apple product. But I'll tell you, with this thing called international travel, I'm not so quick to empty that checkbook anymore, even though I had that Apple card. George, you think you think the iPhones are expensive? What do you think this MacBook is going to run?
Oh, lots of money. That's another product that they keep improving and all that. I don't particularly use one, but that notebook and that Pro is going to be really, really vital to so many different people. Thousands? I don't know how much they're going to be, really, but they'll be quite expensive. But I know a lot of people use them, and obviously that's a great incentive to see the new one. Obtain the new one. Yeah.
So if MLB is already using Apple 17 for a phone, they're going to start using these new MacBooks because they're bigger screens. They can look and analyze, do more analytics better because they can. I mean, for those of us that are older, you need more than just a little screen. You need a bigger screen. It'll be interesting. Kudos to them. Let's face it. I can tell you that there are a lot of people in the older generation or the mature generation, how should I ever put it, didn't grow up with a computer in their hand when they were young. And so a lot of these touch screens are more user friendly for them, especially the bigger screens. So it makes sense for them to do a MacBook, with a touch screen.
Eric?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they already have an order in though, because generally the leagues are kind of ahead of everyone else though. But not a fan of the touchscreens personally, but good for them.
Rob?
Yeah, well, 2 weeks ago I had to buy a new computer, so I ended up buying an HP. It has a touchscreen and it also has AI, which I haven't used either yet. So there you go.
Well, there you go. There you have it. I doubt I'll probably get one. I'm happy with what I have. I really am. Although I don't want to go to the store because I might be tempted. But me and touchscreens, I don't know. I kind of like where I'm at. I could go so much with technology, but I'm cool with what I have. All right. But it's out there. I always say I like to bring on Ty Cobb's stuff out there, and I'm going to be making that a new weekly feature as well. Talking about one thing with Ty Cobb every Monday night. Might as well have a great show when we talk about Ichiro, when we talk about Nolan Ryan. We'll have to add Ty Cobb as well. So with that said, on August 30th, 1903, Ty Cobb makes his big league debut, George.
Yeah, well, it was in Detroit, or was it a road game? Either way, it was a great day for baseball history. Tyrus Raymond Cobb, the Georgia Peach. Yeah, he did a great job as a Detroit Tiger. And, he just scrappy guy, but that is amazing. You said 1903?
1903, George. Were your grandparents born then?
1903. I can't remember that game. Was it on TV? No.
Well, my question to you is, did you have any grandparents alive back then?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, Grandma Ava, my dad's mom, and her husband, my grandpa. Yeah, they were around back then. I never asked them. I probably should have if they ever saw Cobb play.
Yeah, well, it's a little too late now, George.
But
don't worry about it. But you'll be getting a new Ty Cobb nugget every week. Just a programming note this Saturday. There will be no talking baseball on Saturday. I have a Miami Hurricanes game with Candy Ebling. I don't think I'll be able to handle the quick turnover on Saturday. So, Derek, just so you know, if you have anything you want to do over the weekend, go ahead and do it. So, no, but we'll bring it back the following week as well. At least that's what our plan is, and we'll continue to see how things go. But when you have a late Hurricanes game that starts late, I don't think I can muster up the strength to do it. So why not be able to do it unless you give it everything you've got? I don't think we'll be able to do it that day as well. So, and just in case you're looking for what's on tap Saturday, the next baseball fill you're going to get will be next Monday night. All right. Rob, go ahead. Ty Cobb.
Yeah, Ty Cobb. I mean, a legend. Could you Listen, do you guys know if Ty Cobb was ever taken out of a game in his prime for a pinch hitter, George?
I don't know. I never
But
researched it.
You know what,
He
Rob? I don't know, but maybe one of these nuggets I have might answer your question. I don't know, but we'll see. I got a lot of good stuff I'm digging up from my source.
Okay, all right.
If you know it, let me know, and you can say it. But I don't know. I just started with him, and might will start when the guy was born. There's other stuff that we'll get with Ty Cobb. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I know, Katie. You don't have to research it. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right. Did you comment on this one, Candace? Yet?
No, I did not.
Go ahead. Although, if you want to come up with it, go ahead. I don't care. Now, Rob, curious.
No, I didn't have enough time to research that. But all I'm going to say is he started a 24-year career on that date with the Tigers. I mean, and he played 22 seasons with the Tigers. That's unheard of. Like, if you think about it, how many players play 22 years, much less with one team? And what a career he had. And I know you're going to go into the other stats and everything like that, but to play that long, to start in 1903, obviously that was before me, before my parents, and I believe it was before, right before my grandparents, I believe. But
if I recall correctly, I think he played for the Philadelphia A's too.
Yes,
he did.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, he played the majority of his time with Detroit. I think it was the Tigers manager at some point. I'm just trying to go over what my memory serves me. So
he was. He played with the Tigers from 1905 to 1926, the Philadelphia Athletics 27 to 28, and as a manager in 21 to 26 for the Tigers.
Great stuff. Okay. A couple more topics to get to, but boy, I got Rob's name written all over this one, boy.
Wait,
Last week,
Eric.
I didn't go.
Yeah.
all right, go ahead. Whoever.
I mean, first off, if Ty Cobb was getting lifted for a pinch hitter, I'm sure he would punch whoever's trying to pinch hit him.
Exactly.
But that probably is the greatest all around baseball player of all time, in my opinion.
Rob.
Yeah, I did answer it. I'm the one who said, did he get taken out for the pinch hitter?
Okay. Oh, that's right. Anybody else that I forgot?
No.
Nope. Everybody else.
Well, I'll just say one thing. I'm looking forward to putting this in every show, and this is where we start the debut. So, all right, now this topic's got Rob's name written all over it. By now, people should know that Rob and I are John F. Kennedy babies. So, in order to pay my respects to Rob Maraska, my colleague, on Monday nights and whenever I go on his shows, okay, I have to put this one out there. On July 10th, 1962, John F. Kennedy throws out the first pitch at the All-Star game at DC Stadium, and guess what? Maury Wills scores 2 runs. Willie Mays had an incredible game-winning catch. How many times you've heard that drill before, Rob? I have to start off with you with John F. Kennedy throwing out the first pitch because you and I are Kennedy babies on this show. I can't believe that you're only 8 months younger than I am because you look much way better than I do. But come on, man, from one Kennedy baby to the other. And this is the only politics I talk about. A pitcher throwing the first pitch, and him and I'll deal with it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm glad that he got to throw out the first pitch at an All-Star game before his tragic death. But it's great because the All-Star game had a different meaning then because people they weren't able to see players. They just heard about certain players because you didn't get to watch them. Like now we could watch every game if we want to watch every game. Back then you had to wait. And even when we were kids, Scott, we had to wait until the NBC game of the week or the All-Star game or the postseason. So the All-Star game had a different meaning then. And that he threw out the first pitch, that was pretty cool.
Eric?
I mean, yeah, to Rob's point, back then you didn't have all this all access, you pretty much got whatever was on TV that day, which, was NBC game of the week. And that was who you saw. You didn't get this, this was before, the regional, before like local teams had their own channels and things like that. Actually, the only team that really did that, I think, was the Cubs with WGN. And that's how the Cubs became known to be. But it was always game of the week. And the All-Star game, you got to see the guys that you read about in the newspaper at the time. And it was just a different meaning now. Nowadays, if you want to watch a certain player, you can. I mean, we have, You know, you don't even need cable nowadays. You can easily bootleg it off the internet.
Who else haven't asked? Go ahead, George.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Sr. What a great guy. And I know he loves sports. He obviously, had some health issues, but Griffith Stadium, the old stadium in Washington, D.C., that's a great thing. I mean, there have been numerous presidents that do like on the first game of the year. That's pretty unique when you get an all-star game, and obviously JFK capitalized on that in his short span, obviously as president.
Yeah, at that time I believe it was named DC Stadium, but I know where you're coming from. All I'll say about
Okay.
this, because I've been to Dallas, and I hope everybody has an opportunity to do it. I went to the observatory in Dallas to see the actual spot where Kennedy was killed up in that area. And if you haven't done it, you have to see it. You really do. I came away with a much different perspective of that infamous day in American history. Everybody talked about Lee Harvey Oswald being the guy that did it.
Yep.
You know, I bought it for a while, but then all of a sudden, when I kept going over the tape and everything that they had, I almost became convinced that Lee was definitely a part of it. But Frank Ruby, is that who it was, Rob?
Jack Ruby. Jack
Ruby. Okay. Wouldn't be surprised if he did it too. But I'll tell you what, I'm not here to throw theories out there. But it was really neat. And the reason why I went down there is because I was covering the Lions and the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. I had an extra day to mess around. And I decided to use one of my days to go to the observatory. It was just unbelievable. I toured the grounds. So if you've been over to downtown Dallas, and I swear I spent 10, 12 hours in this place, and I couldn't see enough. Well, I'm telling you, I get into these museums, and getting me into a museum isn't easy, but this was one that cultivated my interest. You talk about American history, then I'm definitely going to go in there. Can't just so you know, if you want to get me into an American history museum, I can handle that. But I'll tell you, I was about 10 to 12 hours. I can tell you a few hours of Jack Ruby, Lee Harvey Oswald, and the whole site. It was just unbelievable. Yeah. But John F. Kennedy, rest in peace, John F. Kennedy. Yeah, I'm glad we had a chance to talk about Rob and I being Kennedy babies. We're proud of you. Your sample size was short, but your memories are a lot longer than that. Final topic of the night. Candy, put that picture up, please.
Okay, let me get it.
Ah.
Yes, remember him? His name is Dan Dickerson.
I know who he is.
The voice of the Tigers.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? Over the weekend, Dan Dickerson, they say, had a hot mic because he went out there and said, blank the recap after the Tigers 15-inning loss. But you know what, Dan? You don't need any apologies for this one. And I'll tell you why you don't have to apologize, even though you did. Okay. He gets a pass from me on this one. Play-by-players on the radio, that's a tough job to begin with, more than TV. He's a great person. Didn't have a hot mic when it came to homophobic and racial slurs. So my opinion, I think after that game, like all of us that were watching it, he was totally exhausted. George, I'm going to give you the last word on this. Rob, you giving Danny a pass on it? And, that photo, and I'm hoping to get Dan on the show at some point or another, but Dan is one of the classiest individuals on the planet. Dan, if you're listening to it, and I'll make sure that George Eichhorn will make sure that you get a copy of this, Ron Colangelo, that we stand behind Dan. George, that will be one of your homework assignments to let him know the final segment of the show was definitely for Dan. So the Tigers, well, if Ron doesn't forget me and he wants a copy of my book, Ron will know I'm a Tiger at heart. So, but meanwhile, Rob, does Dan get a pass in your eyes?
Yeah, he gets a pass. I mean, first of all, being on radio for that whole game, it's like almost 2 games. He had to be exhausted. I was exhausted watching the game because it went on, and somebody going to win this damn game. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, he gets a pass.
Eric?
I mean, it was just, it was an unfortunate slip up. I mean, game was done. It was probably like the game was done. He's probably exhausted. I mean, I'm sure, I don't think he meant it. It was just a bad moment where where it's all said and done. I mean, I mean, sure. I mean, apologizing. You know, I get why he had to do it. I don't think he had any intention of it. It was unfortunate. The mic happened to be on. He didn't realize it, and after a long day, unfortunately, though, you know, he's doing something where, you know, it's where everyone is listening. I can guarantee you that there are bazillions of work people who come home and do the same thing after a long day at work. But you know, it was fine. You know, it happens. Just, you know, we don't need to. It wasn't like he said the worst thing in the world. As a matter of fact, it wasn't like he was directing it at anybody or anything. So, you know, just you know, he made a mistake and he's apologetic for it. Let's not kick the man anymore and make him feel bad more than he already is.
Well, he owned it. That's all he had to do. He didn't have to do it, but he owned it anyway. All right, Candy.
Let's face it, as being part of the media, you have to stay neutral.
Yeah.
But let's face it, when you are covering a team and you're calling for a team, you're not going to be completely unattached. I think back at like how Bob Uecker used to call games, and you know, for the Brewers, and Vin Scully called, and you know, Ernie Harwell. Scott, you've told us many times about stories. They lead with emotion. You have to. And when your team just played 15 innings and lost, you had to be emotional. And did he know that his mic was on or not? No, he didn't know it was still on. And like Eric said, it was not derogatory. It was not meant at anybody or to demean anybody. It was just an expression. And did he owe everybody an apology? No, but kudos for him for stepping up and owning it and doing an apology. But did he need to? Absolutely not. I could totally understand being emotional in that moment.
Hey, Troy, Harry, good evening. Thanks for joining us through Facebook. We appreciate you, Troy. Troy's a good friend of ours, good friend of the show.
He's actually at the NCLS game right now, just so everybody knows, too.
Oh, Troy Gary's there. Oh, wait a minute. Troy Gary's everywhere, this guy. Yeah, man. I love being friends with this guy. Every time you turn around, here you see him, here you don't. But I've seen, we met a few times. Troy's one of my favorite people out there for sure. And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to collaborate more than just through social media. But Troy's class, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This guy is absolutely unbelievable. So I'm glad that Troy, Gary, and Bo, Football Talk with Bo, join us. Troy, it's only fitting you're going to get the last word on this one. You see Dan a lot more. And I'm sure you'll reach out to Dan, let him know I want him on the show at some point or another, and we'll do that. But go ahead. You take the last word on this, rightfully so. You deserve it.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. There are so many times when your emotions and your frustration lets out. And, of course, I don't hold this against him. He's a fine broadcaster. He said it was said in a moment of frustration and not a reflection about how I feel about doing the game recap. It was just about how I felt at the moment, like you guys talked about, 5-hour, 15-minute season-ending loss. So yeah, Dan has done a great job filling, as you know, Scott, tremendous shoes of Ernie Harwell.
So Candy, once again, please put that picture up there, Dan. Thinking about you. That's why I put this picture up. Proud of you, and it was good to see you back in Miami. So, with that said, that does it for this edition of 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. So, Candy, you want to give us an update on the score, and then we'll go ahead and let everybody get out of here.
Yes, it is 1-0, bottom of 7th, and it is the LA Dodgers. Freeman hit a home run, and that is the difference in this game. Snell is still in there pitching pretty well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
One-hit baseball right now for the Brewers. The Dodgers have 5 hits, 1 run. Like I said, Freeman hit a home run. So hopefully the Brewers can get hot and get some hits, string some hits together here.
Well, Blake Snell's a money pitcher. What can I say? So, with that said, we'll have Candy give us a station break one more time. We'll go around the horn for final thoughts, and that'll be all she wrote for the night. Go ahead, Candy, one more station break.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons to the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, and the foreword was written by George Eichhorn, another panelist. Great stuff, guys. talks about old school media versus new school media, and it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. Go check it out. If you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Really? Seriously? Really? Just do it. And then turn on the notifications so that you're notified every time we go live. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to advertise, you can call Scott 954-304-4941. And if you want to be a guest or have show or topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune.com. But most importantly, if you have ideas, go in that comment section and start interacting with us. We love to interact with the viewers. So if you're a little shy, you can do that. If you're a little less shy, you can email us, and then maybe you'll be a guest on one of our shows. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Rob, let everyone know how they get a hold of you.
Chet, I just want to say something real quick.
Sure.
NYMLB talk everywhere. If you guys, because Scott and George, this would be right up your alley. Our guest today, like I said, the guy's name is Danny Gallagher. He was covered the Montreal Expos for the Montreal Daily News, wrote 11 books. This is up your guys' alley. If you want to check him out, very interesting guy and show. It's on YouTube, NYMLB Talk, and another fun show, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also, if you don't mind putting his contact information in our group chat, that'd be great as well. And
I'll send it to you, Scott. I'll send it to you.
That sounds good, Rob. Again,
okay.
Yeah, Rob, you do an unbelievable job Monday night. Again, every time I'm on the show, we don't have a bad show together, Rob. The only thing is tonight I pay tribute to with a Kennedy analogy, and once you got my wheels turning, no stopping me now. But no, I'm not in the business to sing. So all right, so Rob, you got your information out there? Did I just call on you? Eric, it's your turn.
Yes, you can follow me on my Twitter at Sports Team News, or you can check out my blog at bellyupsports.com, where I'm writing about all things baseball. And if you think I don't like your team, I probably don't.
George, go ahead.
Okay. You can find my writings rather, at the South Florida Tribune website under the contributor section. And I have a book called Detroit Sports Broadcasters on the Air, featuring over 60 years of broadcast coverage in the Metro Detroit area. Scott's in the book, I'm in the book, and of course the great Ernie Harwell's in the book. And there's a link to that book at the end of my column. You can reach me at gicorn@yahoo.com or Twitter on SanGSports99. Also see you on LinkedIn and on Facebook too. Thank you.
All right, well, that does it for us here on 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. Great show, great participation in the chat room. More importantly, my crew did an outstanding job. I can't ask for much more than what I had today. I had some thoroughbreds out there winning. All of you won the Kentucky Derby tonight, as you do every Monday night when you're with me anyway. So with that said, that does conclude this edition of 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, there will be no talking baseball this Saturday. Instead, because the Miami Hurricanes are taking on the Louisville Cardinals, I don't think I have the steam to do it. And Candy's probably proud of me for making that decision, like I've taken myself off the road. She doesn't want me to wear out anyway. She just wants me to use load management in the right way, and that's what I'm trying to do is discipline myself and not overdo it. So you have to be ready.
And Scott, I just want to add a programming note. We have changed talking baseball. Instead of 9 a.m. Eastern, it'll be switching to 10:30 a.m. Eastern going forward, even though we're going to not do one this week, but going forward, 10:30 a.m. Eastern.
Great point. The reason why we've made that switch is we want to be able to get people on the West Coast as well involved. So it's a lot easier to go 90 minutes ahead so that we can cater to those. We have a lot of good guests that are located. It's just not fair to get them to come up at 6. So, but at this particular point, I want to use load management. I make no bones about it. I'm trying to be conscious of my Alzheimer's, and I'm doing it as well. I was able to get actually behind the wheel yesterday and was able to drive a little. So that's some baby steps. I had Candy with me and was able to make the drive to, where was it? West Fort Lauderdale, Tamarack area. That felt pretty good. She was with me. Yeah. So Sunrise, there you go. I forgot about that. So I felt really good behind the wheel. I know I have my work cut out for me with this whole Alzheimer's thing, but I'm not giving up. I have too many things I have to get done. Why would I stop now? We're getting to a point where, and hopefully by the end of the year, our goal is to reach 1 million views on YouTube, and we're we're hovering around 800,000 right now, and I have a lot more programs that are in the works. I can't stop right now. I'm having too much fun every single night we do this stuff. So I can't stop it. I got great people around me. So with that said, can't thank everybody enough for being with us in the chat, and all you that are watching on YouTube everywhere. Even though you don't comment, at least we understand that there are a lot of views coming from someplace, and we're appreciative of all of you that tune in. And if you like what you see, please subscribe to our channel. And everybody out there is welcome to come on the show. Make your presence felt. We think you're pretty good. We'll be more than happy to bring you on. So that does it. On behalf of George Eichhorn, Candy Ebling, Eric Katz, and Rob Maraska, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. See you next Monday night. Have a great week, baseball week. Enjoy the postseason. Bye now.
Enjoy the postseason. Go Brewers.
Bye-bye.
Let's go Crew.